So it's a running deck. For those who are just like joining for the first time, Francois, at least, you're welcome to look at this deck. And go back in the past. You'll see some like news materials and how we've evolved. Not much, but you'll see some information there. The agenda is, I'll talk quickly about the conference that I've visited. We'll let you introduce and talk about your story. I wanted to reiterate the rare bootcamp materials that are out there. I wanted to put it here and give you the opportunity to download them and read through them. It's an immense information database. It's absolutely a must-read information. I cannot unfortunately download it because there is some sort of like not a paywall, but a download wall. But I'm providing the login and password that you have received from this bootcamp so that anyone from our community could join and read through them. Neil, Steve, same goes for you. Feel free to look through those documents. It talks a lot about like everything in the path from like when you know about the rare disease to treatment. So there are a lot of materials out there. So recently, about 2 weeks ago, I was on an OGLIP Nation conference. This is a conference that was organized by Stephanie and Mike Boyce. Both of them, they were on our OGT conference in 2024 in November in Florida, and now they've organized. It's something that they run independently of any conference. It's OGLIP Nation conference that's happening every year or every 2 years. I think now it's every 2 years. And it's not about OGT, but Object Nation is a big part of the OGT problem. And uh, surprisingly, this conference was opened by 3 keynotes. The first keynote was from Lance Wells. The second was from Dan. The third was from me. Basically, like OGT received the prime time, and we were able to talk about basically what's going on, what's going on in the research field. I was able to share our experience as parents. I've put together a short video. Um, I can share the link with you. It's very similar to what I've done for the conference for 2024. I just added a bit more information, a little bit more shots from Neil, from myself, and from somebody else. So I'm happy to share this video with you guys. So my message was that, um, well, we are real. Our life is a struggle, and we of course we appreciate what you guys are doing. We're happy to collaborate more on that together. And we're welcoming new members to the community, new research members. Surprisingly, guys, this was received very, 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 what's the word? I mean, everyone appreciated it. Researchers came to me. They asked, "Hey, how can we join this movement? How can we join you guys? Here's my contact." And there was one of the labs which I've never met before and heard of before, which is located in Hong Kong, and they have 18 people who are working on not our problem. Like 9 of them are working on OGT. That's a new lab that we've uncovered there right away. So I will set up time with them on sometime next, maybe in 2 weeks from now. So anyone welcome to join, and we'll talk about what they do and how can they collaborate more, and how can we basically establish a better community to communicate, because we communicate with Lance, we communicate with Dan. Oh, Elise and Francois. Dan and Lance are two heads of labs. Oh, Neil,
Hmm.
can I please ask you to mute yourself? I hear a little bit of echo.
Sorry?
May I ask you to mute yourself because I hear a little bit of echo?
Okay.
I don't know if it's me.
I don't know. At 1 1 2 1. Yeah, I think it was Neil. Neil, thank you so much. Yeah. So So Lance and Dan are head of labs. Lance is here in the United States. Dan is in Denmark, um, and we knew about two of them, and they're really pushing the boundaries. Like they're grinding, like in the knowledge there to understand what's going on. But all of a sudden, there's another one. So let's see. I'll have a chat with him next week, and let's see what he does and what how can we collaborate with him better. Apparently, both Dan and Lance know about him, so that was that was a surprise to me, to be honest. Um, but well, again, very warm welcome from the community, and they're willing to collaborate. It's a again, that's something that I can't stop being surprised of. They appreciate the connection between them and real cases, real world, ourselves, our kids, and they need this feedback. They need these feelings to be heard, especially when they bring their postdocs, because for them it's a real connection between what those postdocs do, like PhD students, um, what they do and how it impacts real life. So everyone appreciates that a lot. So don't hesitate to reach out to researchers and ask them questions. They're very open to answering those questions. Um, a couple of other connections that I need to still work on, just set up meetings and just see what they can do. Um, yeah. So in general, it was pretty not helpful. I think it was useful just to socialize who we are and what is our problem out there. Let me pause here to see if you have any questions.
Yeah, Andre, just curious. So you have a daughter with an OGT diagnosis. Are you tied to the medical also then, or how did you end up in the role, or is that too long of a question
Oh,
that you right now?
no, I'm not tied to medical committee. I'm same as you, as Neil,
Okay.
Steve. I'm a program manager in a company, like in a just in a
Okay.
company. Yeah.
I-
So
Um. Yeah. Never mind. I was gonna say when we talk background, I can.
yeah.
So Andre, so you're saying there's 3 labs now, one in Hong Kong that's working on this,
Well,
and how did they suddenly, like, it's such a rare thing? How did they independently and not kind of get into that, doing that research?
um. Well, the honest answer is I don't know, Neil. I don't know. Maybe it's just how they're interested in that. This all was uncovered by Jerry Hart and John Hanover back in like 30 years ago, and they published that this agglutination is a big thing and it impacts the development of like inside our bodies, and there was a hypothesis that it can lead to something, and some labs started to dig into that, and and at some point they were working on this problem, try like on a cell level without a single like evidence, without a single patient, and all of a sudden they started to see patients coming, and this is how they realized that yeah, this is a big thing. Hey Miranda, this is this
Hey
is a,
guys.
hey, this is a big thing, and they started to publish papers. Now Lance has like over like 250 papers. Dan has, I think, similar comparable numbers. So, and maybe how it happens is just someone just joins the field. Like Dan joined the field when he heard about these things, and maybe this is the case with with this third lab. Again, I didn't have a lot of time on this conference. I came here just for one night, and I had to leave. Unfortunately, for really, I was like just there for like 3 hours. That's it. That's it. But let me talk with this head of lab and see exactly. Maybe we can ask this question. You know, like how come that you've started to do this. But what is more important really to understand is, what are you doing really? What is your scope? Where are you? What models do you have? What models do you need? And how can we all collaborate? From what I've heard, and from him, he said that I'm not interested in the like a basic science level on a cell level. I'm interested in like leapfrogging and basically just finding treatment. I don't know what that means, honestly. Like, it sounds interesting, but I don't know what that really means. So let's talk with him and just see. Uh, let's see if it's a like. I'm sure it's a real thing. It's just we need to understand a little bit better. I asked him actually to come and present what he does on like to this community, and he said that let's first meet just on a like in a, unofficially, and then I can come and bring. I'm also having another conversation with Marie from Dan's lab, and apparently Marie is working on the patient registry. It's Oh, sorry, was there a question? Oh, okay. Marie is working on patient. It's not a registry really, but it's really a natural history science, and she has over 60 patients for whom she has really the information for like national history science. Yeah, yeah, natural history science information. In comparison to the natural history study, sorry, not science study that is being done here in US, it's a lot, because here in the US, the organization that is doing natural history study for us is run by, remember, there's Eva Marava and Andrew Edmondson and another group of like clinicians here. They're also doing medical history study for CDGs. And I asked them how many patients they have from OGT, and it's just nine. So that's not a lot. We need everyone, really. We need everyone there. We need everyone in this natural history study. Because just why we need that? Just I'll give a quick reminder. Um, natural history is like a foundational block, because we will need to bring this to NIH to show like what is this disease, like what are the symptoms, what are the different phenotypes and stuff like that. So that's a must have if we want to get to trials. That's absolutely must have step. We don't need to diminish the importance of that. So, and she will also come and just talk about where she is right now, when she's back from her vacation. Now she's on vacation.
So how do we become a part of that then? Or what should we?
Oh yeah, yeah. At least I will. That's actually a good point. In this deck, I will add a link to the natural history study, which is essentially this clinical. Oh, hold on. Insert this tab instead. Well, you will see. So this is the organizations, Frontiers in Congenital Disorders of Glycosylation.
Okay.
This organization, FCDGC. This, oops, Elise has just left the meeting. Francois, for you, I will advise you to reach out to Marie, because she's running the natural history for like European patients. Because I don't think I'm sure that non-US patients are not covered by FCDGC here. But at least I will leave a link in the deck, and basically what I'll ask you to do is just find the site that is closer to you that you can visit. Oh, Francois, sorry, you said something?
No, it's okay. I get it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. I will say this is my first time with this type of communication. I've done some other things. And when you're saying leave it on the deck, I honestly don't know what that means. I don't need to take everyone else's time up, but I probably need a little bit of a tutorial at some point.
Yeah. So you see, this is the invitation to our meeting.
Okay.
I think I added you to this invitation. You should be there on the meeting invite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got something. In fact, I went to something that was wrong, and then I clicked on the right thing. So there was something within Facebook that I clicked on and brought me
Okay,
to.
through. Okay, I'll find a way. I'll find a way to just send it to you. I'll send you the link. So please don't worry about that. I'll send you the link.
Okay, because I can give you my phone number if texting works or something.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just not quite sure the terminology you're using yet.
Yeah. No. That's sorry. I can be confusing at times. So Elise,
Mhm.
please find time to just basically get yourself in touch with or get in touch with those clinicians and
Yeah.
submit the information that they need.
Okay, because I actually did end up, I think, getting a message, and I emailed Dan, I believe, and I think he was out for a while, and said he would get back with me. So maybe I'm kind of sort of slightly in the loop.
Yeah. Yeah, just well, I don't think it hurts to be like in both databases, both databases again,
Okay.
are especially if it is already covered, like your so this organization, the FDCDGC, basically is covering US patients, so you should be able to do it. I think it's for free for you just to connect with them.
Oh, okay. All righty. I mean, it was actually kind of it was a follow-up with genetics, Cincinnati Children's Hospital, that I said, boy, I wish I could get connected with somebody. And she got on Facebook and she said, hey, there's this group. So that's what happened a week or so ago. So I had no idea. And Robbie actually got the diagnosis about almost 2 years ago. And we've just kind of been floating. So, yeah, so I'm literally just, even though Robbie's 30, going to be 31 next month, I feel like I'm just getting started, just learning to walk here on this.
At least that's actually a good segue to our new members. We've got you and we've got Francois here from yeah. So would you mind just sharing a little bit about yourself, your life, your and of course Robbie would love to hear you, because it's a very small, tight community, and everyone is super precious.
Wow. Okay. So I was going to say, and feel free to go, hey, a little bit too much background, but like I said, Robbie will be 31 next month. We did not know anything was wrong initially. He just kind of wasn't hitting milestones. He's our second. We have a 32-year-old daughter, and mentioned, I think, at a 9-month checkup, hey, he's not sitting up unsupported. And he also was a very colicky, just felt like he was a bundle of nerves. He would cry most of the night. He didn't sleep through the night for over a year. But anyway, so we were at neurology on his first birthday, and we had not gotten any kind of a diagnosis. Have had different genetic things done, probably 4 or 5 times in the 25 years or whatever. Robbie also has 2 younger sisters. My youngest just walked by. She's 18. Had a 10-year gap between our first 3. Anyway, so Robbie developed seizures, or at least more visible seizures, about 6. He's nonverbal, still in diapers. Developmentally, probably a toddler, although I will say, since he aged out of school, 8 years ago, well, between that, and he also had a corpus callosotomy to try to help with seizures when he was about 16, which helped a bit, but didn't get rid of them. And we're on a lot of 3 different seizure meds. But he, from like late teens, early 20s on, like I said, we lost the school, which is a one-on-one situation. He had the corpus callosotomy, which he had a MRSA infection, ended up with some complications from that. Increased seizure meds. He has really decreased his skills. He no longer can walk without being held on to. Unfortunately, he doesn't understand that, so he will just get up randomly and um, and fall if someone's not holding on to him. So he lives with us, obviously. So like I said, he also has had polyps. They started doing colonoscopies about 5 years ago, and each time they've had polyps, and he's had a colonoscopy every year now. And the last one, there was some odd cells starting. Anyway, but it was, I guess it was a couple years ago after one of the colonoscopies, they said, hey, let's do some genetics to see if there's any genetic markers for cancer. And I'm a breast cancer survivor myself about 8 years ago. So came back negative on anything for the cancer. But I also said, hey, they recommended taking a look if there's anything else that would fit. Probably about 10 years ago, he does have something with his MED12 gene, and they were looking at FG syndrome, but he really didn't fit into any of the categories other than the cognitive disabilities. So came back with this OGT. And what I was under the impression, because when you mentioned 30 years, I'm like, wait a minute, because I was told that it was like a paper that was written from the Max Planck Institute in like 2018 or 2019 that identified this. Because like I said, he's had these genetic things for looking for cognitive or intellectual disability types of things, and nothing had come up until just this last one, like I said, probably 2-3 years ago. So it's kind of, like I said, kind of floors me that something's been going on for a lot longer, but it had never been picked up. And let's see. Yeah, I know. Robbie can be a sweetheart, and he can be a little bit of a jerk too. You can ask his sisters. He's that toddler. I'm taking care of myself. He likes to interact, but not in ways that people really appreciate. Like, I'm going to reach out and pull on you and scream at you. Not nasty, just his way of interacting. He likes to. He likes to walk, but we've got a gait trainer. So again, like I said, he's unsteady. So we have to be careful because he's had numerous falls, numerous sets of stitches and things. And I'm, my husband is, we live together. In fact, we just had our 35th wedding anniversary on Monday. But my husband's kind of working towards retirement, and like I said, I've had some health issues, so I will say future is pretty scary too. As far as who, my daughters are saying they plan to take care of Robbie, because at least in my area, there isn't any place for somebody ambulatory that is but unsteady, that there's a safe environment.
Yeah, at least this is incredibly like important for us to hear this, and I can assure you that everything that you're sharing is that's so close to us. We're living through pretty much same challenges, and you will hear those stories here and there, and we're asking each other questions. Hey, like, what's happening in the age of like 10, 11, 12, 10? Here we've got you who's in the age of 30, and we've got seizures, we've got absolutely like non-verbal kids, people who are non-mobile, like kids who are non-mobile, and all of those things. Just you're in the basically you find like people who understand exactly what you're talking about. At least it doesn't mean that we know like what's going on.
It sounds like my son, actually, like my son Cullen. Your son sounds a lot like him.
Yeah.
Can I ask, when you first saw a regression in the skills, like my daughter's 12, and we're starting to see mild, with her walking is not as good as it used to be a year or two ago. I mean, I wouldn't say severe regression, but it's quite clear it's happening. Did it happen later in his life, or was it over the teen years?
I would say probably late teen, but as I mentioned, there were a lot of things that were also going on with the increase in the seizure meds, and he's small. He's 5 foot, about 85 pounds, which is a blessing, although he's massively strong. Um, I'd say there was somewhat of a growth spurt for him that he just seemed to not be able to regulate his body as well. And actually, my mother passed last year, and my family were going through pictures, and my brother found some videos, and there were some videos of Robbie. I won't say running, but almost running when he was little, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot how ambulatory he was. So to a certain extent, it's kind of hard to see when it's gradually happening, what's happening. But I would say that, and unfortunately I said the brain surgery and the increased seizure meds and the growth spurt, those all happened about that late teens time. So is it that? Is it the OGT? It's hard to say, but I would say it was around that time that I started to see a little less. And like I said, when he used to play more purposefully. I don't know if you guys, it sounds like you all have younger ones, but there was a toy called GeoTracks, and he would actually work the remotes to line up to crash the cars, and he would stack blocks and things. And now all he does is just take things and puts them in a box, and that's it. So just skill wise and interest wise, he's just regressed. And then also wonder, is it that 25 years of or 30 years of toddler toys are boring now, but there's nothing that's taken its place because he's not capable. I've tried iPads, we've tried lots of different things. He's had all different modes of therapy, all the way up until he kind of aged out where they don't from school, so up to 20.
Elise,
Yeah,
I just wanted to introduce you to Dan and Marie. Both I mentioned earlier on this call. Dan is the head of lab in Denmark, and Marie is in Dan's lab, who is running the patient research. Also, I mentioned that earlier today that Marie agreed to come and just talk about that sometime later in the year. Dan, you have your hands up.
Yeah, just wanted to say hi, Elisa. I know that we have we've emailed a little bit, and it's really interesting to hear your story. I mean, just to kind of remind you and everyone else from something that I think maybe Andre may have already mentioned, but we are basic researchers. We're not clinicians, so I can't really comment on anything specific to do with a treatment of your children or anything like that. You'd have to talk to your clinicians. So we are interested in trying to find out why variants in OGT give rise to these kinds of symptoms in humans, and we do that by modeling this disease in mice. So basically, we make mice where we make exactly the same mutation that we see in human patients. And then we look in these mice to see whether we can see phenotypes or symptoms that are the same as in the patients. I just wanted to say two things from what you said. I think the difficulty in what you've written in the email, in which I think I just kind of heard the tail end of that you were describing, is that in this case, in your child, there can be confounding factors, because in fact it's not just an OGT variant, but you also have a MET12 variant, and so MET12 variants themselves also give rise to intellectual disability. And so here we end up in a situation where you might have a mild MET12 variant and a mild OGT variant that, when you put them together, give rise to extra strong symptoms in the patient. And so kind of dissecting which of these two is most important, or whether indeed you would only have symptoms if you would have both of them, that is sort of a very highly individualized mechanistic investigation or medicine approach, if you wish, that is kind of really at the edge of what it is that we can do at the moment. The other thing that I heard was a discussion about any kind of regression or progression of the disease. Andre already knows this because we kind of talked about this at the Oglugnac meeting a couple of weeks ago. But we have one patient where, in a time-dependent manner over 15 years, we can see loss of the cerebellum, which is a bit at the back of your brain, which is important for sort of hand-eye coordination. And that's kind of the first evidence that we have where maybe in some cases, I'm absolutely not saying that this will be true for all your kids, but where there is maybe a progression of the disease. Obviously, in young children, there will be a phase where they're still learning new things. And I think Andre has shown us brilliant examples of that, where Victoria can still learn new things. But maybe in some patients, there is also a progressive component. Having said that, we know of families, and I think this is also a question, Elise, that you asked me. We know of families where there are patients with OGT variants that are affected in terms of their motor skills, and they also have epilepsy, but they are in their 60s and they are totally fine. So there is that clearly in that case, this sort of progressive effect that we see in one patient is not true for all patients. And I think this is really actually an important message to everybody who's listening here with kids, is that it is really, really difficult to kind of predict what is going to happen in your particular case, because it is very clear that the background genetics, that is the background variants in all other genes that your child will have gotten from their dad and from the mom, plays a really, really big role in the severity of the symptoms that we have for OGT CDG. I hope that was kind of clear what I was trying to say.
Miranda is asking, Dan, how
Yeah.
much?
So I think this kind of ties into what I just said, is that at this point in time, what we see is that there is such heterogeneity, such variability in the disease. Some people are totally almost completely fine. They just have a slightly reduced IQ. And then at the other end of the spectrum, there are kids that are not only severely affected in their IQ, but also in their verbal skills and motor skills. And at this point in time, we don't have a clear understanding of why that is. It could be linked to what Miranda is hinting at, which is that maybe at particular positions in the OGT gene are linked to particular symptoms. And that is actually where we kind of need the help of all of you. And this is guided by, actually led by Marie in my lab. She is collecting all kinds of variants and making a very accurate list of all of the symptoms of the patients. And then she is going to use advanced algorithms to try to see whether there are links between particular areas of the OGT gene and particular symptoms that we see in the patients. But the only way to do this is not with 5 and not with 10 patients, but with at least 100 or maybe even 200. And we are sort of at the 75 mark now, but we need as many patients as possible to kind of join us in that study. Marie, I don't know if you wanted to say anything more about that, or maybe introduce yourself.
No, sure. Hi, I'm Marie. As Dan just said, I work in his lab as a PhD student, where I run this patient project that we're trying to get off the ground and collect as many samples and data as possible to try to somehow get a better characterization of what are the main phenotypes and symptoms of this syndrome. And are they somehow, as you just said, then related to position in the gene where the variants are located, or are they somehow related to other things? So we're going to use a combination of these clinical descriptions and data, and a lot of different layers of, this might be a bit technical, but of omics technologies, which means that we're going to look at proteins, and we're going to try to look at gene expression levels, and we're going to try to look at metabolites, and add these different layers to see if we can somehow get signatures that are specific for specific subsets of the patients, or if we can get some kind of biologies that are in common between all of the patients. So we basically want to see what overlaps between these different patients and what differs between these patients, because that can tell us different things. And I just came back home from holiday today, so I haven't had any time to prepare for this meeting, and I would really like to give a more in-depth description of what it is that I want to do, but I think that we can set that up for another time. For now, I think all you need to know is that I'm very invested in this, and we are working very hard to get as many patients and families enrolled to get the best characterization that we can. That's all for me now, I think.
Thanks, Marie. Good to see you here, and thanks for joining. I thought they're still on vacation, but yeah, thanks for coming to this call.
Just real quick, because we were going to be taking Robbie to get a blood draw. Actually, genetics had suggested to have done something with, I'd have to refer back to my notes, something about some mitochondrial stuff to see. Anyway, I was wondering, since it's not a joy to get a blood draw, is there something that we could add on to this blood draw that would help you?
Well, that's a really good question, very relevant question, because as you just said, that it's not it's not a joy to go for these visits, either for blood draw or whatever it is that you're going for. So we need to have ethical approval in place before we can do this. And we have just enrolled one specific site, and now we know how to apply this to the different sites or clinicians and patients that want to participate in the study. So we need to have that in place before we can do it. But we can arrange something. I don't know if you have if it's next week, it's going to be too soon. But I'm working on trying to get this through as fast as possible, because we know that a lot of patients are have yearly visits or something like this, and if we can combine everything together, it makes a lot more sense than you having to go multiple times. So we're working on that for sure.
Okay. I mean, I was hoping to do it in the next week or so, but are you talking about 2 weeks is enough, or are you looking at a few months and I should just go ahead and get what I need to do right?
Well, I would need to know who I don't have the details here, but who is your clinician, to have them send me the documentation that I need to give it to my national ethical committee. And that can happen pretty fast, but we're gonna want to take like a couple of clinicians in at a time.
Okay.
So not 2 weeks. It's going to be more than 2 weeks.
Okay. So also, if you could maybe explain, when you're mentioning clinician, all right,
Yes.
Robbie has a primary care physician that I informed her that Robbie has this OGT thing, and she went, "Oh, that's interesting." And then we have met with a geneticist, but the geneticist isn't somebody that's a consistent person. Who are we actually talking about as being this clinician you're referencing?
I would assume that Well, that's a good question, and I'm not a Stan also said we're not clinicians, so this world is kind of new to me too. But one of those clinicians, the geneticists or the primary
Either or.
yeah, will one of them, I guess, will have or will more easily be able to obtain what is called an institutional research board approval to collect these samples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I come in here real quick?
Yes.
Basically, Elise, it's a struggle for us here because usually regular clinicians don't want to deal with this thing because it's not going like along with the standards that they need to abide to. So the clinician is always referred here as to anyone who is willing to submit and work with labs on your behalf.
Got it.
If you find a really nice person in the genetics, genetics doctors community, or if it's your primary physician, it doesn't matter really here. What we do for the state's patients, we specifically come to the sites that know what is OGT CDG or OGT XLID, but they call it OGT CDG. We come to Dr. Eva Morava, we come to Andrew Edmondson, and there is a network of like a small number of people who know what that means, and they actually easily communicate with Don and with Lance and provide all the needed information. This is how I connected Don with Eva Morava so that she helps with submitting. Like we had blood samples and we said, Don, if you need it, Eva has it. Please work with her to get those samples to you. So it may be easier for you to connect with Eva in New York, and she will get those samples and the information required to you, anywhere like to Marie and to Don or to Lance or and to Lance, right? We'll need to figure out, we'll need to discuss with Marie how to basically collaborate better on those patient community. But yeah, so answering your question, it's anyone really who is willing to help you on this journey. But if no one is willing, you can absolutely go to Eva or Andrew Edmondson or a bunch of other names which we can give you, and they will work with you.
Okay.
Dr. Tan, she's in Mayo Clinic.
Mayo. Okay.
Yeah. I also wanted to give an opportunity to Francois to introduce himself and his family. Francois.
Okay. First, I'm really sorry for my English. I will try to be as clear as possible, and because there is a lot of medical terms that in English I don't know how to express. But okay, I will try to tell about our story. So Elliot will have 4 years old in August, so in 1 month. When he was 5 months, a doctor said, okay, it's quite abnormal. He cannot see it. The doctors just saw something that not going so well. So they say, okay, you have to see a specialist of the brain. I don't know how to say in neuropediatry. I don't know how to say. And then we did a scan of the brain. He was 1 year old. In the scan of the brain, they saw Elliot has a small pituitary hypophyse. I don't know how to say in English. Sorry, pituitary gland.
Pituitary, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Very small one. So first of all, they saw that he cannot secrete hormone like growth hormone or thyroid. I don't know what to say. So first of all, we get some of treatment for the hormones. Then the clinician said, okay, you should do a blood sample for study the genetic of Elliot. And in the last December, we get the diagnostic and they said Elliot has ODT variation, and they gave us the exact variant of the ODT variation, the exact reference. So that's I can enter in detail if you want. Give you precision, like Elliot. Okay, he's learning. Elliot is learning, and hopefully now he can tell several words. He can express himself. We are working on the excuse me. Sorry, I mean, we are working on
Francois, are you there? I think we stopped hearing you. Yeah, we lost Francois. At least I
Yeah.
think this chat will disappear. So please copy the links. The
Okay.
links. I'll share this with you.
All right, because I tried to do something before and I got kicked out of the call, so that didn't work. Okay, copy to clipboard. All right.
Yeah, or you can just click on those links and you will have them open. Both.
Okay. But let's see if it. Okay, it didn't take me away this time. Okay.
All right.
I have to figure. It's going to take me a little bit to figure out how to get on these things. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So actually, let's move on for now. Let me share this deck again, and when we have Francois, we'll just give him back the word. So we're missing on the call Daniel and Braden, and I know that Valerie of Lipak, the mom of Holy Lipak, she joined a while ago, but we've never heard. I think from Valerie, the mom, on this call. So I'd love also to invite to this call. With that, we have 10 families registered in our patient registry. It's a OGT, like pure OGT website. This is good. That's it. So that's where we're growing. Why we're running this list? It's just for us to have a list of active families, because some of the families they reach out to Dan, they reach out to Lance, but we don't have access to these people. All of these people we have access to them, and when needed, we can mobilize and we can connect both Dan and Lance with them. Hey, Francois, are you back? All good?
Yes. I'm sorry, my computer just crashed, and I know I'm on my phone.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sure. Go ahead. Yeah. I stopped
Okay.
presenting.
So I was talking about where we try to make Elliot proper. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say. I'm sorry. So he's verbal. He's going to school, and we don't know for the future if he can just follow in normal school, ordinary school. We are linking with a specialized establishment to make he feel in the best place for him, because okay, he has several difficulties to follow normal school. I mean, ordinary school, and we have a lot of how can I say I don't know how to say in English. I'm sorry. Okay, we are working with some specialists to on the mobility, on the muscle, with some specialists. We have a lot of help in medical help in France. So we have a medical team who makes him progress for the moment. So That's it. That's it. I don't know if you have some question. If I am enough clear.
Can I just two quick things, Francois? First of all, I don't think we have communicated before.
No.
If you would be interested in learning more about our study, please send an email to me. I have just sent you a Facebook message with my email address. The second question I had is when exactly was it noted that that there was a developmental delay? At what age was that?
8 months.
At the beginning, the specialist told us, okay, he has a delay. But
beginning, you mean at after 12 months, after 6 months, after 24 months?
We start to see it at 12, I think, because he was not walking. He walked at the age at 3 years old, and he had some difficulties to talk. He didn't talk at 12. He talked at yes, at the same. Just after walking, just after the walk, he starts to talk. It was everything happens around 3 years old.
Okay, yeah. And you said that in the MRI there was a clear defect in the pituitary gland. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay, so I would be very interested in having a look at that. So we have mice that carry patient mutations. This is a region of the brain that we have not specifically looked at, but we could look at to see if there are specific defects there.
He was also he had a chirurgical intervention because he has a dolichocephaly.
Yep.
It was at the age of 2. He was operation, chirurgical intervention.
Yep.
So yes, that's the other point I wanted to tell you, the dolichocephaly.
Yeah, I mean this is also something that we see in many patients, is either an elongated head or a non-symmetrical head.
Okay.
And we see a little bit of that in our mice maybe as well. But yeah, if you could send me an email, that would be really interesting. Yeah,
I can give you the result, and also it will be in French, but
that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Je parle français.
Ok, très bien.
Nice. Thanks, Francois. Yeah, I hope we'll hear more from Elliot, and hopefully we'll see him at one point, maybe next year. I know that Don and Maria are looking to organize an OGT conference next year. So that's something that we could start talking and start working on. And we've never done, like, we've never really started this conversation about the organization, but that's in plans.
Yeah, I mean there's quite a lot of funding here in Denmark to organize such conferences, and I think that setting this up together with parents would be a completely novel and very interesting thing for them. And I think therefore there might even be funds to help families to come and join the conference as well. Marie is smiling because Marie is already busy enough, and she knows that I will go and ask her to help organize this conference. And if she is sensible, she says no, because she's got a lot on her plate at the moment. But this is something that I really feel we should do, because there are really fantastic funding opportunities to get equivalent of say $100,000 just to organize the conference. So we could really do it in a very, very good way. Yeah.
Nice. At least answering your question, I don't think we have a timing yet. We've never really gotten to the point where we discussed the timeline for that. It's just hypothetical, not hypothetical. It's more than hypothetical at this point, but we need to start planning.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, Steve here, obviously we'd be happy to support in any way we can. to help with some of that workload. But I think definitely working out what date that would be as soon as possible would be really beneficial, so that then we can, as families, plan accordingly to try and get as many people there as possible.
Yeah. I mean, just sticking my finger in the air, I would say like July next year.
Cool.
Oh, Elise, you're muted, Elise. Elise, you're muted.
No, I was just that was when we're looking at going to Alaska, that we've been wanting to do for decades. So, all right.
Yeah.
July.
So, Steve, Dan, would it be beneficial for us to set up a separate goal to start that discussion?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I think that the first step would be to just see the list of all the conferences, Dan, that the researchers who we need to see on this meeting may want to visit, if there's already a calendar of big events that we don't want to interfere with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in this particular field, that there isn't anything. So, and also, I think it would be, relatively small and focused. Andre, you attended the OGLUCNEC meeting in July, a couple of weeks ago in Durham, and as did Marie. And that one is, of course, very broad. It's about this OGLUCNEC stuff in general. But I mean, this one would be much more focused on what happens, if this OGLUCNEC modification goes wrong, in either by having variants in OGT or having variants in OGA, as we've recently discovered.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the writing of the applications. I can give you the link to all of the schemes, because I know about 3 or 4 that would give funding for such a conference. It's just actually writing the applications for them, which doesn't need to be like very, very scientific, but somebody needs to do that. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's set something up and for next week maybe, and let's get the organization going.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, Francois, thanks a lot for sharing your story, and just let's
Thank you too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is very important. This is why we meet. So just a couple more things. Just really, that's it for the agenda. I wanted to share with you, just reiterate, guys, go to this deck, Rare Bootcamp website, username, password, especially Elise, Francois, you haven't seen this. It's eye-opening. Really, what's going on in this field? What we're here, like what we're facing here. Another important information is just specific to OGT, XLID. Lance presented last year. He was the first to present on this calls, then followed by Dan. These are essential conversations about this, just to understand what's going on with what is this disease basically. So this will get you up to speed very quickly. I'm leaving the links in the deck. Again, I shared the links, and I will ping them to you as well. The roadmap, we're still here. We're understanding the biology. So we haven't really seen like a big announcements on the conference. So we are basically understanding the biology. It's just Dan quickly mentioned here, and I think we've discussed that like also a couple of months ago on this calls, that it's not just OGT, it's OGA as well, related OGA related as well. So there's a lot to understand in the biology, in the basics of the biology. Without understanding the basics, it's hard to build a treatment, because we don't know what to build a treatment for. So that is why we're heavily relying on basic science to understand what's going on. This is it, guys. All right. Any questions or comments, or anyone wanted to also share something from their life?
I think thanks again, Andre, for setting this up. I think now we're getting a bigger group of parents and information on patients. I think these calls are really, really useful, and we always kind of run out of time. So I think it'll be good now that we've got more people involved and we can attend more calls, perhaps put other calls in specific, meeting and everything else. But as you know, there's a lot to do, and we're all very busy, aren't we? So I think these calls are really, really good. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I think you cut off for me, but I think what I've heard of that you would like to see more those calls to be more frequent. Is that correct?
I think it's a case of just having more people on the calls is going to be really, really useful. So not necessarily more calls, but perhaps separate calls about different events, so that we can spend these calls talking about the patients and the experiences, because that's the most useful for the parents.
Yeah. Well, let's chat more online about that, because you see, I've been canceling those calls lately a lot because I just didn't have a lot to share, like from the development of what we're like from the development of with any progress with Cure OGT. But from what I'm hearing, that even the experiences of parents is a good enough topic just to keep those in the books and in our calendars, just to keep them going.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Sounds good. Sounds good. It just I know that a lot of busy parents are here, and I don't want this to be something that is that people don't count as useful. That's why I was, trying to accumulate some important information with new members. But I hear you, Steve. Thank you for the feedback. All right, Elise, Francois, any last questions or comments? Not last, actually. I can stay on the call. We can chat more. No, we don't have to end now.
I was curious. Is 30 like one of the oldest of the folks that have individuals with OGT right now? Is Robbie the senior?
Within this group, yes. Now your Robbie is the oldest one among all of us. Yeah. Dan mentioned that he has twins, 60-year-old brothers who are featured in the paper, but we've never gotten to chat with them or their siblings. Yeah.
By the way, a suggestion kind of going off of what Steve was saying, and I totally agree that, and I think Miranda is as well. Having an opportunity to speak with people that, quote unquote, get it, I think is very beneficial. So, perhaps if you made like a regular scheduled time, and then just let it know whether it's just going to be just, no information, just gather if you want. And it would also be helpful to know if it's some set time each month or whatever's a good schedule. So, but no, I agree. I think there's definitely value, even if it's not information to be shared, it's, experiences to be shared. And I know, Dan, you had commented, just an FYI, my youngest actually has Turner syndrome. So she has a genetic disorder also, but cognitively does quite well.
Yeah. And no OGT variant, but still the MET12 variant.
No, the MET12 was actually with me.
Okay.
Yeah, that, I don't know. It's that lovely X-link. All that. It's the girl's fault.
Yeah. Andre, one thing. I would attend many more of these meetings if it ended up in my Outlook calendar. So I don't know if it's possible for you to send an invite, because I'm not on Facebook very often.
That's true. Some other form of communication would be great, actually. I agree. I find Facebook to be kind of hit or miss sometimes. And whether you
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you got that, Andre, about the sending an Outlook invite.
Oh yeah, we have an Outlook invite also. I've sent it to parents only. Dan, I'm happy to include you there. Again, I just didn't want to, and it's
Yeah.
for,
Oh
yeah.
no, I'd much prefer to have it in my Outlook calendar, and I'm sure the same is for Marie. And I will actually also forward the Outlook invite to the rest of the lab if they want to attend. And I think attendance will probably be higher then, because then they know. Now people that are not on Facebook or not in this group, they have no idea these meetings are taking place. So please include me in that.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I just didn't want to spam people. That's just, so I included only the parents.
Okay.
Maybe, oh yeah,
I don't think I received it that way. Do you need my email?
yes, please.
Okay. Do you want me to type it in or just tell you? It doesn't matter.
No, I'll ping you on Facebook,
Got it.
giving you
Okay.
the link, and you will respond with an email. I have it, but Dan and Maria have your emails as well.
Great. Alrighty. Thank you. By the way, someone made a comment about school and not sure where was going to be a good placement. I am definitely a strong advocate for a full continuum of education opportunities. In fact, in my county in Ohio, we were looking at closing a couple of our specialized schools, and I was a part of the group that really advocated for them to stay in existence. So and obviously every individual, it's an individual case, but don't be afraid. I know there's sometimes a stigma. In fact, the term segregated was utilized a lot in talking about the schools that were for just people with disabilities. But my term is specialized, so don't be afraid of them. And I'd be happy to help, to talk to somebody if they wanted to talk a little bit more. And again, I know the educational setting is different from Chuck's from everywhere, but I know at least where I'm from, I definitely felt that my son received a lot better care with people that were actually trained in the area of disabilities rather than just a typical school.
Yeah, it was. I was talking about the school. Yes, I understand what you mean. I understand, but it's true that maybe in France, teachers are not at ease with the handicap. You know what I mean? Not everyone. We are lucky. We found a school in our city, and a teacher is really nice, and she tries to include Elliot on all the activities. But sometimes we can find some teacher that doesn't understand handicap.
Right. And I think the level of acceptance and understanding, it varies everywhere. In fact, my youngest had a play this past weekend, and we typically take Robbie to. Actually, it was a musical. We don't tend to take him to the plays; they're not as exciting. The musicals he gets into a little bit, and he screamed, not just Robbie vocalizing, and scared the poor kid on the stage. And my daughter said that the boy that was the actor said, "I'm going to go give that guy what for," and okay, well. Yeah, actually, my daughter, the actress, is here. Similar to that. Yeah, and she said, "Well, actually, that was my brother, and he has developmental disabilities." And the guy was kind of, like, "Oh my gosh, I messed up," really kind of thing. So, I guess I try to take those things as teachable moments, and I think my daughters as well. My oldest is a special ed teacher, and I'm sure because of Robbie. So, just to add another thing, we can choose whether to let these opportunity or these situations crush us or to help us make us better. And and so just, pray that each of us, we have the strength, and sometimes it's harder than others, but because I definitely feel like I'm a better person for the experience that I've had with Robbie. But it also gets hard.
Yeah, at least no. I think it's very important to hear all these words, especially from a more experienced parent. You've been with Robbie for 30 years, and resilience and the perspective that you've developed. It's very important to hear for all of us. Right, guys. Looks like we're at time. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll keep the next one on. I may be flying back to United States, but the show must go on. So we'll get this going. Thanks everyone, and Elise.
Thank you.
Francois, welcome to this group, and
Thank you.
Marie, thanks for joining today. It's really important to have you here as well.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Safe travel.
Guys,
Bye.
Bye.